Greetings, ChampCar Racers. Welcome to take 2 of your TireRack.com ChampCar Endurance Series video virtual drivers meeting. Take 2 because apparently I forgot to record the last one that I just did. So anyway, at the risk of repeating myself to just myself, we'll take a moment and thank our sponsors, including obviously TireRack.com and Frozen Rotors, and I'm going to read them right off the paper here. I'm going to get the paper up so I don't look funny while I'm doing this. See, I actually have paper. Frozen Rotors, Racing Radios, Lifeline Fire Suppression, RVA Graphics and Wraps, UUC Motorworks, NLA Parts, and Bell Racing, the official helmet of Champ Car. We'd also like to thank the Chandler School. They're back on board again to sponsor our Sportsmanship Award. I'll talk more about that at the award ceremony. And of course, our class sponsors, Discovery Parts, MoneyShiftRacing.com, and Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme has contributed a whole bunch more of those candy jars that we've given out at some of the events, the ones that are full of all the Reese's Pieces and the year-long certificates for free donuts from Krispy Kreme and all kinds of good stuff. So looking forward to giving those out. On that note, award ceremony, one of the things that these Krispy Kreme things allow me to do is to give out something to a lot more people, right? I try to give them out for a variety of reasons. We've also got certificates from Lifeline and some of the other sponsors for a product. I really like to give that stuff out to more than just the people who are already getting trophies. So if you finish the race and you're there at the end, please come over to the award ceremony. The more people that are there, the more opportunities I have to give out good stuff to you guys. So really like to recognize our sponsors by spreading the love around of the stuff they give us. So please take time to come to the award ceremony if you finish the race. So anyway, moving on. If this is your first time racing with Champ Car, if it's been a while since you've raced with Champ Car, if you have a brand new member on your team and you'd like a little bit deeper dive into how we officiate the race, how we manage pit stops, how we, conduct the race, all that good sort of stuff, please come to the new to Champ Car drivers meeting. That will be Friday at 5:00 in the second floor of the tower building. We're on the south course, so there's literally only one building there. So it'll be on the only building that has a second floor in it. If you'd like a kind of an early opportunity to review some of the stuff, there is a video version of the new to Champ Car meeting. It's available on our forum under the race events section. There will also be a link to it in the email that you got the link to this video from. So please take a minute to check out that new to Champ Car stuff. It'll, like I said, give you a little bit deeper dive into how we officiate a race and make things go a little faster Saturday morning at the drivers meeting. Speaking of Saturday morning at the drivers meeting, actually, sorry, I'm going to flip back up to Friday while I stay on Friday for a second. Times for move-in and tech and registration are all in the supplemental rules. There's a link to the supplemental rules also in the email that this video came in. Please take a minute to look over those supplemental rules for stuff. There's usually good information in there about camping and fuel and other event-specific stuff. If you've looked at them before and you're checking them out again, make sure you refresh your browser so you're looking at the most updated version of it, because we will have to make some changes from time to time. I think we're still on version 1 with this one. No significant changes from the past, but never hurts to pop over and take a look at those. There was some mention of a Friday practice day. That is being run by Hooked on Driving. They are on the full course on Friday. They'll be operating out of the North Paddock, so it's not something specifically associated with us like we've done with the Southeast Hooked on Driving guys. But there is a Hooked on Driving event on Friday, so if you're looking for more information on that, pop over to the Hooked on Driving site and you can find stuff there about sign up and registration. If you are running the Hooked on Driving event, please make sure you carve out the time to get your car through tech inspection. If you still need a 2022 tech, make sure your drivers bring their driver safety gear over and you get your team through registration. So I know you want to go over there and run the event. That's awesome, but please make sure you get the admin check-in stuff done for us on Friday. Speaking of the helmet safety gear check stuff, we are still using the stickers on the side of the helmet. We are going to bring an online system in for that probably later this year, but we are still working on getting some functions, little electrons to fire back and forth between 2 different websites and whatnot. So there's been some talk about that, but I want to be clear about it. Until we get that electronic system working properly, we are still going to be doing manual gear check inspections on the helmets. Saturday. We'll talk about fueling and other stuff at the driver's meeting on Saturday morning, but as a quick reminder, everybody stops at pit in. Everybody stops at pit in. Make sure you get your timer on the car. Everybody stops at pit out. Everybody stops at pit out. There's going to be a tent, a stop sign, and a person at both ends of pit lane. When you see a tent, a stop sign, and a person, make sure you stop there. Everybody stops at pit in. Everybody stops at pit out. When you stop at pit out, they're going to take your timer off your car. That's obvious. Again, if you want more information about the pit lane stuff and fueling and when you need to spend your 5 minutes and all that kind of stuff, make sure you check out the new to ChampCar thing. But they're going to pull your timer off your car. They're going to look at it. If you're in the car and you want to know what your timing is for your pit stop, the Flagtronics unit has a 5-minute counter running while you're on pit lane. But they'll check your timer. They'll compare it to your Flagtronics unit. They will look for your driver wristband. They will look for your helmet safety decal. They will do a quick cursory check of your driver safety gear in the car. This is my big liability statement. I say it over and over again, but it is your responsibility to get your drivers buckled into the car properly. We are doing a courtesy check. We'll pull on the window net, make sure it doesn't fall down. If it's something that we see that isn't quite right, like slipping a seatbelt back into the bracket and the track on your head and neck restraint, we will do that. But if for whatever reason your driver is not buckled in properly and it's not something that my folks at Pit Out can fix quickly, they're going to have to turn you around and send you back to your pit stall, right? Nobody wants that. So please take just a couple extra seconds and make sure that your driver is buckled into the car correctly. If you've had a lightning fast pit stop, please don't send your car down to Pit Out with 2 or 3 minutes remaining on the timer. You send them down there with 10 or 15 time for the folks at Pit Out to do the check of the wristband, the helmet decal, and the safety gear. But if you come down there with a minute or minute and a half on the timer, they're going to have to find some place to park you out of the way, and it just causes a little bit of congestion down there. Speaking of pit stops, if you're going to be in your pit box for a while doing some repairs, please remember that we ask you to limit that to 30 minutes. If you think you got some serious repairs to do and it's going to be longer than 30 minutes, please be kind to the other people on pit lane. Move your car back to the paddock area to get that work done. Again, it's not something we're down there with a second-by-second timer. If you're going to be down, you're almost done, you need 31 minutes, nobody's going to yell at you. But if you're going to be there for a while, please take your car back. You can get a little crowded on pit lane, especially at the VIR South. Speaking of VIR South and pit lane in general, and pit lane anywhere for Champ Car, 20 miles an hour. All pit lane speeds, all Champ Car races, everywhere we go, 20 miles an hour. If you feel like you're crawling down pit lane, you're probably doing it right. If you feel like you're making a really good time, you're definitely going too fast. If Jimmy or any one of our other people picks up that helpful radar gun we got, you're probably going too fast because you're on attention. 20 miles an hour on pit lane. There's a lot of activity, a lot of people moving around, a lot of people slinging fuel jugs and whatnot. So we want to keep things slow and safe. 20 miles an hour, all Champ Car races, everywhere we go. I mentioned Flagtronics a second ago. We are obviously running Flagtronics. As I said, pit lane timer will flip over and it'll run the 5 minutes. When you're on the track, the Flagtronics unit will match up to whatever segment you are on in the track. There's little delineations, little GPS lines around the track. The way they've set it up, that delineation where you go from one zone to the other should match up with where you can see the flag station. So if you remember Champ Car rules, we use what we call line of sight. That means if you can see the flag station, if you can see the flag, that flag is for you. You're under the control of that flag. Standing yellow, 70% race speed, no passing. Waving yellow, 50% race speed, no passing. So when you come into the zone, your Flagtronics unit should flip over to marry up with that flag condition. So you'll see the standing yellow and your Flagtronics unit will go yellow. There's a waving yellow, your Flagtronics unit will marry up with that. When you get through the flag station, past the incident, broken down car, disabled car, somebody off the track, and you can see the next flag station that has no flag, at that same point where you can see the flag station, your Flagtronics unit should flip back to green. Now remember, Champ Car, no flag is green flag. So the corner worker at the next station has no flag displayed, you can race. One of the things we did with the Flagtronics system based on some feedback from last year was instead of having it simply go out and passively tell you there's no flag, it will actually flip back to green and actively tell you, hey, right here, you can go back to green flag racing again. It'll stay green for, I think it's about 20 seconds, and then it'll go into the off condition. But we're actively telling you when you can go back racing again instead of passively just dropping the thing off. A unique thing with VIR is what they call code 35. I've said this before, a couple of drivers meetings, there's usually about a third of the people that get it right away. For my Formula One fans, code 35 is a virtual safety car. And what that means is we're slowing the entire track down to 35 miles an hour, but we are not putting out the pace car. It allows us to clear the incident much more quickly because we don't have to wait for the leader to come around, wait to gather the field up behind the pace car, and then after we clear the incident, we don't have to wait for the whole pack to come around again, bring the safety car in and restart. We can usually pick up a disabled car and get them off the track in less time than it takes for you guys to do one lap. Allows you to get back to green flag racing much more quickly, which is what you paid to come and do. Nobody paid to come to a Champ Car race or ride around behind the pace car, right? Or any race for that matter. So how's it going to work in practice? So let me walk you through this because we've had a couple things with the code 35 stuff where people haven't gotten the nuances of it. A car breaks down, spins off, runs out of gas or whatever, they're stopped on the track. Stop off the track, on the edge of the track, wherever. So we're going to go local yellow right where that incident is while we give the driver time to figure out whether he or she can get moving again. So you have a local yellow, probably a local standing upstream, a waving in the sector where the incident is, and then green flag around the rest of the track. So your Flagtronics unit will match up with those conditions. You'll come in, you'll see the standing yellow, you'll see the waving yellow, go through the areas. Remember, standing yellow, 70% race speed, waving yellow, 50% race speed. You get past the incident, next flag station, no flag, Flagtronics unit goes back to green, you go around. So we decide we're going to have to go get that person. We're going to have to send the truck out to pick them up. We will go single standing yellow around the entire track. Your Flagtronics unit will flip over to a standing yellow all the way around the track. So the whole track is now 70% race speed, no passing. We'll leave that for about 10 or 15 seconds, maybe 10. Actually, it goes pretty quick. Could be 5 or 10 seconds. Everybody slows down a little bit. Then we'll put out the code 35. Your Flagtronics unit will flip over to the code 35 indicator. We'll say 35. And every station will have a standing yellow and a code 35 flag visually. So everybody slows down to 35 miles an hour. Circle the track, safety trucks go out, they pick up the disabled car, they pull them off. As soon as they're clear of the track and we have no other issues, we will withdraw the code 35. Your Flagtronics unit will go back to yellow and there'll be a single standing yellow around the entire track. So now you're back to standing yellow, 70% race speed, no passing. So everybody starts speeding up. Usually takes, again, about 5, no longer than 10 seconds. Everybody picks their speed back up. We'll withdraw the yellow. So you'll have no flags at all the corner stations, and your Flagtronics unit will go back to green again for 20 seconds, and you're back to racing, right? So that's the progression. Local yellow while we figure out if we have to get the car. Standing yellow at every station. Slow to 70% race speed, no passing. Code 35 comes out, slow down to 35, no passing. We finish clearing the incident. Code 35 goes away. You go back to standing yellow, so you increase to 70% race speed, still no passing. Then the yellow comes away. You're back to green. You're back to racing again. So it's a staggered approach, right? Standing yellow all the way around the course, code 35, back to standing yellow around the course, back to green. It allows us to clear the incident really, really quickly. Many of you do not have a speedometer in your car. Many of you have run at VIR in the past and listened to the old jokes about, yeah, it's the code 70 and the code 90 flag, right? Because nobody slows down. Well, interesting thing with Flagtronics is you don't need a speedometer in your car because there's a speed measurement tool built into the Flagtronics unit. And if you exceed 35 miles an hour, your Flagtronics unit will tell you by flashing that code 35 at you. That's an indication that you're going too fast. You're exceeding 35 miles an hour. You need to slow your car back down until that Flagtronics 35 is stable and steady. If it's flashing, you're going too fast. Here's what's really important. on my end, I have a little map of the track that shows all the cars going around. I'm looking at the side of the screen to make sure my finger is actually in the frame. All the cars going around the track, along with the number of the car. And if it's flashing in your car that you're going over 35, it's flashing upstairs on my screen too. So I know you're going over 35. That will result in a black flag, right? I could bring you in and talk to you about exceeding the whole 35 miles an hour. It is in your best interest to slow down to 35 miles an hour, okay? And we've had people talk about this in the past where folks are going too slow or too fast and whatnot. But yes, we can modulate it, we can see it, and we will black flag you and get you in. It is a safety thing, and many tracks are going away from doing full-on hot pulls. A lot of tracks want to do full course caution for the whole incident, no matter what it is. This code 35 thing allows us to clear an incident so much more quickly than having to put the full course yellow out, double yellows, pace car, the whole 9 yards. So please abide by the code 35 thing. It keeps things safe and allows me to get you back to green flag racing as quick as possible. If we have to go beyond that and go to full course double yellow with a pace car, we will put a traditional double yellow out at every station. Your Flagtronics unit will indicate that it's full course yellow, and I'll send the pace car out. If you're the leader, please know you're the leader. Congratulations, I'm happy for you. You should be very proud that you're the leader. Please know you're the leader and don't race the pace car coming around. Look for the pace car coming out. The pace car comes out in front of you under any circumstances, do not pass the pace car. It might be that you were in second and third and the pace or the leader pitted, and now you are the leader and you just don't know it. Or it could be that the leader is 1 or 2 cars behind you and Jackie just picked up that spot, and then she'll give you a wave around and send you around until she picks the leader up. Or it could be that the situation is just really bad and I had to grab the first car we could and get the whole field slowed down. But usually when we have to put out the full course yellow with a pace car, it's because we need to do some sort of track cleanup. And we need a big open area of track to work in. So here's where it gets complicated, guys. Code 35, stay at 35 miles an hour, maintain your position as you circulate around the track. Full course yellow, double yellow flags, pace car out, catch up to the field. The reason the pace car's out is because I need everybody bunched up together, okay? So if the pace car's out and there's a double yellow flag, catch up to the field. If you look at a corner station and you see 2 yellow flags, you're under double flag condition, you should see out your windshield the pace car or one of your competitors. If you look out the windshield and you see nothing but open track, you need to catch up to the field. Now, last year we preached this and you guys did a really good job. People have been catching up to the pace car. In fact, people were catching up to the pace car so well that they were hot-footing it through the incident area where the rescue workers are. So I'll caveat that to say, slow down when you go through the area where the rescue workers are, and then hot-foot it around the track and catch up to the field. The sooner you guys catch up to the field, the sooner we can clear whatever the incident is and get you guys, again, back to racing, which is what you want to do in the first place. So hope that makes sense. So remember, code 35, maintain 35 miles an hour, maintain your position on the racetrack. Double yellow flag with a pace car, catch up to the field behind the pace car. Hopefully that makes sense. Moving on to the race itself, please make sure you have your online tech form submitted properly. Team captains, this is a function that's make sure you've got it in and submitted. Make sure you have the right information for the race you're at. I've been a few teams last year where they made modifications to their car between the races and they didn't record them on their online tech form. Think of it just like your old logbook. If you make changes to the car between races, you need to note it in your logbook. Same thing now with the online tech form. You need to note it on your online tech form. Make sure it's submitted properly. That is what they base the tech inspection off of. Headlights. It is a night race. We will be running after dark. I'd like headlights on the cars and physically turned on by 5 p.m. This gives us plenty of time and plenty of daylight to make sure everybody's got their lights on properly. Certainly the last thing we want to do at a race like this is black flag you guys as soon as it turns dark because of something as simple as not turning on a headlight switch. So we want them on a little early so we got time to get it all sorted out. Certainly don't want to ruin anybody's races. If you got any other questions about the race, anything else you want to know, please drop your race director an email. In this case, that will be me. The email is in the email that I've sent to you guys that this link is in. Wow, that sounded really convoluted. But anyway, send me an email if you got any questions. Otherwise, again, this is the VIR South Course race. It's pretty straightforward. Most of you guys have been here before and you know the drill. We're looking forward to a really fun race, and we're looking forward to a good start to the 2022 season. And I'm going to do what I usually do, which is pause. Oh, I got a thumbs up from Paulie. Awesome. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. Please travel safely coming to the event. We look forward to seeing you in March. Again, done. Chomp.
Do you want to do the third time just for fun?
Let's just do the next race while we're on a roll.